Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Reese Thompson.
Aimsville is asking residents what they want out of their trash and recycling services. The village is hosting a forum to discuss whether to join a Council of Governments, or COG, focused on solid waste cleanup. The COG would be between the city of Athens, Logan, Nelsonville, and Aimsville, along with the Athens-Hocking Solid Waste District and Athens-Hocking Recycling Centers. The forum will be held tomorrow at 16 State Street at 6:30 p.m. The redevelopment of a historic local building is getting some help from the state. The state is awarding a $1 million tax credit for the building on the corner of South Court and West Union Street. Work is currently underway to turn the former car dealership and bookstore to a multi-purpose building. The project is expected to cost $11 million. Black History Month begins on Thursday, and the Athena Cinema is celebrating people of color on the big screen. The series Heroes in Color will showcase 5 films each week of February. Organizers say the selections provide examples of representation in film. The series will feature titles like Blade, Black Panther, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Along with the films, each screening features other events like trivia, special introductions, and themed cocktails. It's been a wild week of weather, and you know, it's just been raining. It's been a flood watch. I mean, I just can't, it just doesn't seem to stop. So joining us now is meteorologist Rachel Grant to tell us more on what is going on.
I know, it's a mess a little bit. Today is our break from the rain, though. We just have one day, though, but
Amazing.
Tomorrow we're going to see a lot more. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we're still going to see a little bit more tomorrow, but we're still going to see lots of sunshine for the rest of the week. But right now we're seeing a lot of rain moving out of our area from yesterday, but looking more into our area for today, we're not seeing a lot of movement. We're seeing a little bit of clouds here and there, but really we're just seeing a lot of sunshine and a little bit of clouds. Along with that clouds, we're also going to see a lot of those temperatures ranging in the 30s. We're going to see Zanesville 36, Athens 37, really overall just enjoying the winter temperature. As for right now, we're seeing a temperature of 35 degrees in overcast conditions. Those clouds are staying into the night. We're going to see lots of clouds tonight and the low of 30. Unfortunately, we're not really going to see the moon tonight, or the sun tomorrow for that matter either. We're going to see a high of 42 tomorrow and a low of 35 with lots of rain to continue throughout tomorrow. And that really is going to continue into Wednesday and Thursday, but that's not really going to impact us mostly for the rest of the week. But as for the 3-day though, we're going to see lots of rain tomorrow, but that's going to wrap up on Wednesday. We're going to see a high of 44 on Wednesday and lots of sunshine on Thursday with a high of 51. Stay tuned to see my weather forecast later on, where we'll track the path of the rain. Now back to Reese.
Thanks, Rachel. Ohio residents recovering from substance use disorders can apply for the Inspire initiative to restart their career. The initiative offers projects for residents in recovery to find and keep sustainable employment. The Ohio Department of Development says successful projects will support recovery-focused job training, coordinating recovery services, and investments in healthcare networks and partnerships supporting recovery. The Appalachian Regional Commission will host a virtual pre-application workshop on February 8th. Final applications are due on March 8th. For more information, please visit the initiative's website.
Coming up, the deaths of 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan could change the conflict in the Middle East. And a common way to relieve stress is putting your health at risk.
We're seeing lots of clear conditions right now, but is that going to continue in tomorrow? Stay tuned to see my weather forecast when Newswatch returns.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, we've got bling.
He is really the godfather of American Indian jewelry.
Bronzes.
One of his claims to fame is that Auguste Rodin was his assistant.
Ooh. And the biggest find of the season.
Was it well known that your grandmother had a crush on Teddy Ballgame?
Yeah.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Old Sturbridge Village.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's insane.
On Finding Your Roots, Eliza Schlesinger,
I always thought I had a very small family that almost came out of nowhere.
And Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, I wish my mom could hear this.
An ancestor's courage.
She left her whole family.
She paid for her own ticket.
I'm emotional.
And a royal affair.
Duke of Plune.
She was the Duke's mistress.
Oh, that is crazy.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
We have news.
Big news.
Very good. Whatever happens, we'll be together.
The evidence is compelling.
I'd expect nothing less.
Congratulations, Eliza. Murder, extortion, gun running.
Things are looking up. Grab onto the things you love and try and cherish every moment. There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be.
What could possibly go wrong?
Where do I sign?
Sunday on WOUB.
In the Sahara Desert.
Fossils are everywhere, telling you what life looked like 40 million years ago.
An incredible discovery.
We have a complete skeleton
may reveal the origins
of the prehistoric whale that lived here long time ago.
Of the world's largest mammals.
This is so awesome. They're doing everything mammals do, but in the water.
When whales could walk on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
A drone attack at a U.S. outpost in Jordan killed 3 American Army soldiers and wounded more than 30 others. Yesterday marks the first time U.S. troops were killed by enemy fire in the Middle East since the start of the Gaza war. The Defense Department named those killed as Sergeant William Rivers, 46 of Carrollton, Georgia, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, 24 of Waycross, Georgia, and Specialist Brianna Moffitt, 23 of Savannah, Georgia. Gloria Pazmino has the details.
A drone attack at Tower 22, a U.S. military outpost in Jordan, killed 3 service members and wounded dozens more on Sunday.
Today is a very difficult day for Americans, so our deepest condolences go out to the families, the friends, and the units, obviously, who lost 3 friends, 3 colleagues.
What happens next could significantly transform the conflict in the Middle East, putting thousands of lives and any hope for conflict resolution at stake.
The president needs to take appropriate action to bring the perpetrators to justice, but we also need to de-escalate in that region, and having a ceasefire with the release of all hostages would do that.
U.S. officials say they believe the drone was fired by Iran-backed militias and appeared to originate in Syria. One group said the attacks would continue if U.S. soldiers do not leave. Iran has denied any involvement in the attack.
We'll do what we have to do to protect our troops, our facilities, our national security interests in the region.
While U.S. and coalition forces have faced more than 100 attacks in Iraq and Syria in recent months, none of them had caused serious injury or damage to infrastructure. The attack comes as high-stakes hostage release talks continue in France, while Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under pressure to pause Israel's campaign against Hamas. All part of a plan to secure the return of more than 100 hostages still inside Gaza. Reporting in New York, Gloria Pazmino.
2 U.S. officials told CNN that the hostile drone followed an American drone that was returning to the base, leading to confusion and the delayed U.S. response. Officials said it's unclear at this time if the enemy drone followed on purpose or if it was a coincidence. Today, there is a hearing to decide whether Alex Murdaugh should receive a new murder trial. He is meant to serve 2 consecutive life sentences after a jury found him guilty of murdering his wife and son. However, Murdaugh's attorneys alleged the court clerk, Rebecca Hill, tampered with that jury. She allegedly discussed the case with jurors inappropriately, pressured them to conclude deliberations quickly, and misrepresented information to the trial judge. Hill is denying the allegations against her, as the South Carolina Attorney General's office, which led the prosecution, is urging the court against a retrial. Most recently, a South Carolina judge has denied Alex Murdaugh's bid for a new double murder trial after hearing allegations that jury tampering influenced the guilty verdict.
A possible border deal could head to the Senate floor in the next few days. However, it is uncertain whether Republicans will listen to former President Donald Trump. Julia Benbrook has the latest on the border security talks in Washington and how those talks are impacting the campaign trail.
In a rare statement on the congressional negotiations, President Joe Biden says the bipartisan deal the Senate is working on is both tough and fair. Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, is one of the key negotiators.
I am hopeful that we will still have enough Republicans in the Senate who want to fix the problem at the border rather than just do Donald Trump's bidding.
While Republicans have long pushed for strengthening border security, the party's presidential frontrunner, Donald Trump, is asking them to reject the immigration compromise.
A bad bill is, I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill.
The former president is eyeing the general election and has been campaigning against Biden's handling of the border.
A lot of the senators are trying to say respectfully they're blaming it on me. I said, that's okay, please blame it on me, please.
Meanwhile, Trump's presidential primary opponent, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, says Congress needs to take action as soon as possible.
Donald Trump, the last thing he needs to do is tell them to wait to pass a border deal until the election. We can't wait one more day.
Components of the deal include a new authority that allows the president to shut down the border between ports of entry when unlawful crossings reach high levels, reforming the asylum system to resolve cases in a shorter time frame, and expediting work permits. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Everyone, happy Monday. We had a really good start to our work week right now. We just had this lots of rain passing through our area within the last 24 hours. That allowed us to really have some really good clouds and lots of sunshine peeking throughout the day. So really just a really good day for the weather today. But with those clouds and sun, we're also going to see temperatures ranging in the 30s. We're seeing Athens 37, our friends in Zanesville 36, our friends in New Philadelphia and Wheeling 35. We really are feeling like winter with all these temperatures ranging in the 30s. But for today, though, we had a high of 37 and a low of 30 with mostly cloudy conditions. Now, those clouds are going to stay for a little bit, especially into tonight. That is when we're going to see lots of clouds tonight with a low of 30. So we won't be able to see the moon tonight, but we also won't be able to see the sun tomorrow either, for that matter. We're going to see lots of rain tomorrow. We're going to see a high of 42 tomorrow and a low of 35 with a 40% chance of rain. Now, when exactly is the rain actually going to pass through our area? Let's take a quick look at that. Here's the radar for our area right now. It's starting at midnight tonight and continuing until midnight tomorrow night. So we're going to see this rain come through in the morning from the northwest, and it's really going to hit our area between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. So the rain is really going to impact more of our morning or evening commute, not necessarily our morning commute. So it's still a really good idea to bring that umbrella, even though you won't need it for the morning. You'll definitely need it for that evening and nighttime commute. Especially with all this red and orange right here, you will definitely need that umbrella and rain jacket. Now here's tomorrow. We're going to see lots of rain right here, really covering up most of Ohio, but it's not really going to impact us until, again, tomorrow night between the hours of 4 and 6. That's really going to continue into tomorrow night and even into Wednesday for that matter too. We're going to see lots of rain right here. We're also going to see a low pressure system form. That's really going to impact our temperatures starting Wednesday moving onward. But for our 3-day, though, we're going to see lots of rain tomorrow. We're going to see a high of 42, but that rain's going to go away by Wednesday. We're going to see a high of 44 on Wednesday and the low of 31. We're going to see more sunshine on Thursday with a high of 51 and a low of 36. As for the weekend, though, we're going to see more and more sunshine with those temperatures really increasing than we are seeing tomorrow and today with a high of 48 and a low of 27. We're also going to see less clouds even on Saturday with a high of 48 and a low of 27. Also on Sunday, we're still going to see more clouds though, but the temperatures are jumping to a high of 50 and a low of 28. And the sun is going to continue into next week's work week. We're going to see a high of 46 tomorrow and a low of 31. I hope you all have a wonderful work week, but now back to Jack.
Thanks, Rachel. Looking forward to that beautiful weather. Sometimes nothing can be more stressful than having car trouble. So when disaster strikes, assistance providers often come to the rescue. But a new study shows the dangers these highway heroes face on the job. The study found 123 roadside assistance providers were fatally struck on the job from 2015 to 2021, nearly 4 times above estimates. The data also shows a majority of crashes occur in areas where the speed limit was above 55 miles per hour and in good weather. William Hurray from the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety says drivers need to be paying more attention.
Nearly 2/3 of the crashes, the vehicle that was involved in the crash had already started to depart their lane. And so this really speaks to factors such as distraction, fatigue, impairment as being involved in these sorts of crashes.
Hurray says the data is critical to improving worker safety. It's a way of dealing with distress instead of simply satisfying hunger. Emotional eating is common in the U.S. and is linked to weight gain and even obesity. Mandy Gaither has ways to recognize and avoid eating your feelings away.
The cravings can come when you're sad or stressed. You want something salty or maybe sweet. The food can bring comfort, but also extra calories.
Emotional eating tends to be very specific. You are hungry for cookies. You are not hungry for anything that somebody would put in front of you.
Psychologist Leslie Heinberg with Cleveland Clinic says when people try to eat feelings away, it's only a temporary fix.
The problem is still there, but people might feel guilty or feel bad about how much they ate or what they ate.
Heinberg says true hunger doesn't go away. It gets worse over time. You may feel shaky or have a grumbling stomach. If you suspect emotional eating, she says to distract yourself for 20 minutes, take a shower, or go for a walk. Do any activity that won't allow you to eat.
If you're still hungry at the end of that 20 minutes, then maybe, identify a healthier snack. But for lots of people, what they find is if they can distract themselves, 20 minutes later, that craving has really passed.
And if you do indulge, Heinberg says, enjoy it. Don't just scarf it down. Eating just a small amount of the food you desire may eliminate the craving. And she says not to beat yourself up about it.
Don't try to make up for it by skipping dinner and then setting yourself to be hungry and irritable later.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Heinberg says it's helpful to have healthy snacks on hand that are easy to turn to when you do face a feeling for comfort food.
A new study suggests that Alzheimer's disease may be transmissible. A discontinued human growth hormone treatment found in 5 adults may be the cause to their early onset dementia symptoms. These individuals were recipients of pituitary growth hormones made from cadavers. The dementia symptoms may come from the possible transmission of amyloid beta protein. This protein is a key component of Alzheimer's disease and forms plaques in the brain. The study does not suggest Alzheimer's is contagious or can spread like viral and bacterial infections. The researchers say it cannot be transmitted in everyday activities or modern-day routine medical care.
Coming up next in sports, there's a lot of action on the hardwood tonight. Find out more when Newswatch returns. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, and YouTube.
So climate gentrification is happening, and Miami is being affected in the worst way.
There's a change coming to this area.
They're going to come take Liberty City because we don't flood.
All the people that are planning this don't live in this community.
Liberty Square is the heart. And when you destroy the heart, you destroy the people.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
The president's intent was to stay in power at all costs.
This election was stolen
I flat out said, I swore an oath. I'm not going to break it. I'm not putting on no stinking circus.
They put their faith in Donald Trump, and he deceived them.
I don't think by any large stretch can you characterize it as bipartisan.
The Select Committee laid the path down for the Department of Justice.
Donald Trump is going to be the defendant and the candidate. It's hard to imagine how it's going to play out.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
Stop skimming.
Stop scrolling.
Just listen.
100 years ago today, they walked away from the main
All you need
in one place.
every afternoon.
Los Angeles. I fell in love with pinball 6 or 7 years ago.
All things considered from NPR.
Welcome back to sports. I'm Peyton Brooker. Tonight in girls basketball, the Athens Bulldogs travel to Meigs in the TVC Ohio matchup. The Bulldogs recently have been dominant on the court with their win over Nelsonville York and 2 strong wins over Chillicothe and Logan Elm. Right now in the TVC Ohio standings, Athens is in first place in the conference with a 1-game lead over the Alexander Spartans. This season, the Bulldogs have been led by Asa Holcomb, who on Saturday scored 14 points and 14 rebounds. Head coach Phil Koska said after the Nelsonville York game that this season, every game matters.
Lose any games, so every game means everything to us. Last year we had 15 wins, and that was the biggest win percentage we had since 2013. We had a goal of breaking that 15-win season this year.
The Bulldogs will attempt to earn that 15th win tonight in Pomeroy with tip-off set at 7:30. And as for the Alexander Spartans, they'll have a tougher task as they take on Nelsonville York. The Spartans are currently on a 5-game winning streak and are just behind the Athens Bulldogs in second place. With a win tonight, Alexander and Athens could set up a huge conference deciding game this Thursday. As for tonight, the Spartans will look towards their key players, freshman Lily Ryder and junior McKenna Moore, to attempt to defeat the Buckeyes. This game is set to tip off at 6:30 in Albany. And as for the TVC hockey tonight, the Waterford Wildcats go on the road to take on the undefeated New York Catholic Green Wave. This season, the Wildcats have been on a steady pace, winning their last 3 games, but have a tall order tonight facing one of the top teams in the state. And finally, the Trimble Tomcats will host the Wellston Golden Rockets tonight in Gloucester. The Athens Bulldogs boys basketball team is also in action tonight as they travel to take on Wellston. The Bulldogs this season have had its downs, currently on a 6-game losing streak, but hope to change things around on the road tonight. The Golden Rockets have also been on a skid, only winning 1 of their last 7 games. That game is set to tip off at 7:30 tonight in Wellston, Ohio. And finally, Ohio women's basketball was successful in the Battle of the Bricks against Miami on Saturday. The Bobcats came right out of the gate against the Redhawks as the shots came down for them for the entire night. Ohio shot for 44% from the field in a 71-55 victory. Freshman Bailey Tabling put on an impressive performance, scoring 18 points and recording 7 rebounds. After the game, Bailey credits the being in the starting lineup for the first time as a factor for her performance.
Being one of the first people to come off the bench normally gives me an energy, so being able to start with the energy, I feel like that also helped us.
And it's going to be an impressive weekend. They also have Miami for the boys on Saturday. Is any of you going to try to attempt to go to that game?
Well, hopefully if it's not raining and the weather is looking nice, then maybe I'll make my way out there.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. If it's a little bit rainy, I don't know if I want to make the journey all the way down to the convo. But
please.
But
15 minutes.
That is true. That is very true. But it's the Battle of the Bricks. I mean, what are some of those big key takeaways for the men's team that we should be looking out for?
Well, they're going to be trying to get past to get to the MAC championship. They've been on a little bit of a skid, but they're trying to come back into things. So now this is going to be a very important game for them. So it's going to be a very tall task for the OU against Miami. It'd be a pretty exciting game for that night.
And how have they been doing so far this season, the men's basketball team?
So they've been on a skid a little bit, but they've been on a really good high lately. So they've been gaining some wins. So Coach Jeff Bowles has been crediting a lot of the newcomers like Aiden Hadway to go towards for those new baskets and out there. So it's going to be a very impressive performance we might see against Miami.
Yes, and Jeff Bowles has always been a great coach for the Bobcats and very much well respected. Thank you so much, Peyton.
Thanks, Peyton.
Still ahead, authorities in Indiana did not expect to encounter exotic circus animals when responding to a trailer truck fire. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action! Best episode ever.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. Vehicles like me can bring significant funds to public television. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
He took white America by storm, broke down barriers.
To be a black artist and go to the top of the pop charts.
And changed music forever.
If you look at music and where rock came from, he is right in there.
See why there is only one.
That I am the king of rock and roll!
Little Richard on American Masters.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, authorities had a wild encounter with exotic circus animals on an Indiana interstate. Grant County Sheriff's deputies responded to a trailer truck on fire only to learn it was carrying nearly a dozen exotic animals from a nearby circus. After the driver was safe, deputies removed 5 zebras, 4 camels, and a miniature horse, turning the circus show on the road to a literal circus show on the road. The deputies even got a chance to pose for some pictures. Now, I don't know about you guys, but imagine just driving past that. Like, I hate when people rubberneck when you're driving slow past a crash, but that I think might be worth it.
Yeah, I would just not even know how to respond to that situation. It's like, do I call animal control or do I stop and take a selfie with them? Yeah. I wouldn't know which one to do, but I think personally I might have taken a selfie with the animals first.
It could have been a nice thing to put on for one of your stories one day.
Yeah, and you know, it's Indiana and these are exotic animals. So Rachel, that's why I ask you, how cold is it in Indiana? Were these animals cold, or how does it look for us?
They had to be freezing though, because it definitely dropped the temperature a lot over the weekend, and it's even chilly now, so I kind of feel bad for them.
Yeah, but what about around here?
Around here though, for tonight, we're going to see a low of 30 with lots of clouds, but we won't see the moon tonight either, or the sun tomorrow for that matter. We're going to see a high of 42 tomorrow with a low of 35, and a 40% chance of rain throughout the day. Now that rain is really going to come in throughout the evening tomorrow between the times of 4 and 6 p.m. So you will need that umbrella tomorrow, even though it's just for your evening commute. It's still definitely worth it because we will receive a lot of rain throughout the evening and even into Wednesday for that matter. But for tomorrow, we're not really seeing a lot of rain throughout the day. It's really tomorrow night. That's really when the majority of it is going to hit. But then on Wednesday, we're still going to see lots of rain. We're also going to see a low pressure system developing, but along with that, it's all going to go away by Thursday, and we're going to see lots of sunshine for the rest of the weekend.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm glad to see more sunshine, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Peyton Brooker and Rachel Grant, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Jack Green. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great rest of your night.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on